Hello everybody and welcome to RPG Horror Stories. Remember, if you like this content, make sure to hit subscribe and like it down below. And hey, leave a comment down there. And by the way, sauce for the thumbnail in the description. Now, on with the video! Yes, I'm full of rum and coke right now. Mildly buzzed. But let's crack on with it. The unfortunate tale of the coffee merchant. I come to you with another horror story. This time, yours truly is the Dungeon Master, and the problem player will be known as Coffee, since he was a coffee merchant. The rest of the case are my brother Josh, another friend we'll just call Ranger, a female elven sorcerer, and a female half-elf bard. A few years ago, I was recruiting for a Dark Sun campaign I was going to run online. I recruited Sorceress, Bard, my brother, Ranger, and Coffee. Now, I had DM'd for Coffee before. He played a character in my Underdark campaign, but he mainly played in his own solo story because he didn't like playing with other people. Yes, this was a red flag, and yes, I did catch it then. However, this wasn't a problem with the Underdark campaign, since multiple players had their own solo stories. It was a role-playing heavy campaign with very little combat. That's why I found it odd that he wanted to join the Dark Sun campaign. See, the Dark Sun campaign was different. It was more of a straightforward campaign where the party was required together. I informed him of this when requested to join, and he said he was okay with it. I was reluctant, but I allowed him to join. Then came session 1, and I realized I forgot one important detail about Coffee. He is really attracted to elves. I mean, really attracted to him! And sure enough, he has, like a moth to a flame, he's been attracted to Bard and Sorceress from the moment they introduced themselves. Luckily, the two players were fully capable of handling him in-game, and there was no out-of-game pursuit of the individuals, though I did privately message them to make sure everything was okay. Now, during the first session, Josh's character and Bard actually started to hit it off in-game. They played well off each other, unlike Coffee, who kept coming on strong to both of them in-game, so neither one would give him the time of day. Now, I didn't think anything of it at the time, because everyone involved said everything was okay. None of this was bleeding into out-of-character issues, and everyone seemed to be having a good time in-game. Then Session 2 happened. He also really didn't like my character's... He also really didn't like my brother's character, because I believe he thinks I showed him favoritism. His proof of this was that my brother had full plate mail, which was rare and extremely expensive in Dark Sun. However, he didn't have full plate mail. He had stone plate, which gave a similar armor class, but reduces his speed by 15 feet. I showed him this, and he started to back off of it. I warned him that he was on his second strike. Steps out of line again, mount. At the beginning of the third session, an argument quickly breaks out. I don't remember over what, but I quickly eject Coffee from the game. After that, the session plays out normally. My players completed the dungeon and they got to tier. Ranger would go on to kill Coffee's character off screen, saving me the trouble of riding him out. So, listen, I can absolutely excuse not seeing the red flag, which you actually did in that Underdark campaign, because you were running multiple different solo campaign stories for each of the characters. They didn't all have to be together. It was one of the few times where it's somewhat okay to split the party. So it would have been excusable if you didn't catch it. But you did, which... honestly, that's a mark of a good DM. You were able to catch somebody's fucking main character syndrome in a solo campaign. That's usually something that's hard to catch because you don't have much to meter it off of. Now, as a reminder to you, my viewers, I read these things blind. This is my first time reading this, and holy fuck, this is wild. And I believe it's fucking crazy that this DM managed to catch this guy's that guy-isms before he even showed them. That's, he did take the correct moves. He warned him once, twice, thrice, and then booted him from the game. He did 3 strikes, you're out. Normally, I wouldn't have done 3 strikes, you're out. I would have done maybe 1 or 2 strikes. But this guy, he's a bigger person than me. So, give this DM some love. They deserve it, especially after dealing with coffee. Now, on to the next story. I wonder if they conspired to get me to leave the group. We were getting ready to start a Fantasy Hero Games campaign, and we were asked to think outside the box when it comes to characters, as this was a point-based system, and we're not limited to the D&D archetypes of characters. I did that. I thought, why not play a cat? A wizard's familiar, but still, just a cat. Sure, I couldn't really cast any spells, couldn't speak with anyone other than my wizard, but I could lend my energy and aid to my wizard, and thanks to the telepathy between us, I could make a damn good spy for the group. After all, what's one more cat in a keep? Game Master thinks that this is a good idea, but is concerned that no one opted to be a caster. One of the guys there said, I'm in the mood to run a wizard. I think my ship's mage idea would be fun. I'll be her wizard and we'll be a team. The Game Master is happy. Wizard is happy since I am a furry walking mana bank. And the other players are enthused at the idea of a scout that few of them would even give a second glance. First session comes along and the guy pulls out a rogue. No one else played a caster and I was pretty much useless. Since this was a points-based system, it can take a while to roll up another character unless you had a computer program to roll one up for you. And since my computer was at home, I had to excuse myself and try to roll one up or spend the whole damn time making my new character. I stayed, and towards the end of the session, I had my hastily drawn up wizard done, even though the party was in a town and looking for a tavern to get dinner at. I was told that now the session was going, they really couldn't slot me in. They figured that I would come back when this thread would be completed, and they dropped me in. 4 sessions passed, and they're still not finished with that arc. I just gave up and started looking for a new group to get into. I always wondered if that was the plan in the first place. Alright, OP, listen, I'm gonna give it to you straight here. I mean, like, listen, what's the chance of OP actually seeing this? Who gives a fuck? So I'm really saying this for you, the viewer. But, this is a classic case of just not fitting into the group. They're usually not gonna... Listen, I'm autistic. I deal with this sort of shit all the fucking time. I don't fit into a lot of D&D groups, even as, like, the DM. Most of the time, people aren't going to straight up tell you, yeah, no, I don't think you're a good fit. They're just gonna fucking lie to you, say they're gonna do one thing, do another, and then expect you to leave. And unfortunately, that's what happened here. My advice is just to find a new group. Pitch your idea to them, have a backup character in the future in case it doesn't work out. Who knows? But, yeah. Strangers are assholes. Absolutely. New groups, sometimes even old groups are assholes. It doesn't matter. People can be dickwads at any fucking moment, and it's not something you can really help. Now, that's all I have for today. Much love, stay sexy, and hope to see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye! By the way, if you made it this far, you got big dick energy. I'm having a drunk stream on Twitch tomorrow.